Hey, it's Todd, and today I'm going to answer that burning question, how much should I charge for my video editing? But can you really put a price on awesome? I don't think so.
Round up your money. Round up your money.
Now, before we get into how much you should charge, obviously your rate is going to depend on how much experience you have. So let's just assume you've done a couple projects and people have said to you, oh my gosh, that looks like a real movie, real deal commercial, real TV show, real video. I can't believe you did that. Thank you, I think. So this is a question I get asked all the time. How much should I charge for my video editing? Well, there are three different categories. You could do hourly, you could do daily, and you could do a flat rate. Now, hourly, I think we all understand that. You go to McDonald's, you get a job, $5 an hour, you work 10 hours at $5, you get 50 bucks. The average rate for an editor, according to Indeed.com, is $22 and some change per hour. Not too shabby. Now you have to keep in mind that rates are going to vary depending on your location and what market you're in. Editing rates in New York City are going to be significantly different than editing rates in York, Pennsylvania. So keep that in mind. But the average across the country, $22 an hour. So another way you could charge is daily. Let's say your rate is $25 an hour and you work an 8-hour day. That would make that $200. By the way, the client's going to expect you to work more than 8 hours a day. So that might be a little pricey for some of your clients, so you could definitely do a 2-day or a 3-day week, similar to how you rent equipment. So if they hire you for 3 days, you'll give them the entire week for that rate. And the last thing you can do is a flat rate, $500 for the week or $1,000 per video. So then the question that I get asked is, well, then how do I determine what that flat rate is? Well, a good starting point for me, and I think for you as well, is $100 per minute.
Round up your money.
No, you're not charging $100 per minute that you work, but $100 per minute of finished product. So let's say you have a music video that's 5 minutes long, $100 per minute, you might want to charge $500 to edit that music video. Now, is this set in stone? Not at all, but this is definitely a way to wrap your head around how much you should charge for a particular project. So you've got $500 for the music video that's 5 minutes long, or a 90-minute movie would be $9,000. And I would say that's very reasonable. You're gonna spend a lot of time on a movie. You might spend 2 or 3 months, and $9,000 isn't a lot of money for a serious movie producer. Now, this $100 per minute thing definitely helps when you've got clients with big blockbuster ideas, but lunch money budgets. And it also helps with clients that think that you have to have a 25-minute video when 3 minutes would be just fine. We all know less is more. And by putting a dollar amount on every minute, it might rein in those clients that are trying to do too much. Now, there are a couple other things that I want to mention to consider before you give them that final price. One thing to consider is the hard drive space. Are you providing hard drive space? Are you going to charge to keep their project on your hard drive, or are they going to provide you with a hard drive? If it's a large project, I generally would recommend that you have them purchase the hard drive for you, and then you could actually give that to them after you're done, and they can keep that in their archives. Another thing to consider is any kind of extra music, video, stock photos, stock graphics, things of that nature that you may need to purchase in addition to what they give you. You're going to want to make sure that you budget for those so you can pass those costs along to the client. You're also going to want to make sure that you don't need to purchase or rent any additional gear to make the edit work. For example, I've had to rent a Red Rocket to transcode red footage to a format that I could use in some of my older programs, and that's something to consider and put in the budget as well. And the last thing you should keep in mind when you're putting together an editing budget is the complexity of the project. If it's highly scripted, put this shot here, put this logo here, put this text there, that's a much easier project to put together, and your budget might reflect that. If it's shot like a documentary, all kinds of footage with no definitive script or story, and you're finding the story, you're putting it all together, that's way more labor intensive, and you should definitely make sure that your budget reflects that time. So I hope that helps you to determine how exactly to charge for your video editing. Video editing can be very labor intensive. It can take a lot of time. Not everybody appreciates how much time and energy goes into the video editing, and I hope this information helps to put a fair price on your art. So there you have it. If you want to learn more about video editing, check out the Frono's Photo Guide to Video Editing. I teamed up with Jared Poland to create over 9 hours of educational video about all things video editing. It's pretty cool. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, the link is in the description, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.
Round, round.